Try to remember the earliest thing that ever happened to you. Go on, close your eyes and reach for it. Chances are you land somewhere around age 3, maybe 4. Everything before that is just gone. But the real reason why is far stranger than you think. You were awake for all of it. You cried, you laughed. You learned to recognize your mother's face before you could even hold your own head up. Your brain was working the entire time. So where did those memories go? Sigmund Freud noticed this gap over a century ago. He called it infantile amnesia. He thought it happened because early memories were too disturbing to keep around, so the mind buried them on purpose. He was wrong about the reason, but he was right that something strange was happening in there. And scientists have spent decades since trying to figure out exactly what. Here's the first surprise. Babies do form memories. Real ones. A baby can remember a toy from a week ago. A baby can remember a stranger's face from a single encounter. Psychologist Patricia Bauer, who has spent her career studying memory development at Emory University, has shown that infants as young as 6 months old can retain information for days, sometimes weeks. So the problem isn't that babies can't remember. The problem is that adults can't remember being babies. Those are two very different things. Which brings up the real question. What happens to those early memories? Do they vanish completely? Or are they still in there somewhere, locked behind a door you've lost the key to? For a long time, nobody could answer that with certainty. Then, in 2014, a research team at the University of Toronto, led by neuroscientists Paul Franklin and Sheena Jocelyn, ran an experiment that changed everything. They studied infant mice, and what they found rewired how scientists think about early memory. Young mice were producing new brain cells in the hippocampus, the brain's memory filing center, at an explosive rate. And that rapid cell growth was scrambling the very memory circuits meant to store new experiences. Every new brain cell was, in a sense, overwriting the ones that came before. The team called it a side effect of a brain that is still under construction. Now picture what that means for a human infant. Your hippocampus, in the first few years of life, is building itself at a pace it will never reach again. New neurons are flooding in daily. Existing memory circuits are getting reshuffled almost as fast as they form. It isn't that your baby brain lacked the parts needed for memory, it's that the parts were being replaced before the memories could ever settle in for good. Think about that for a second. Somewhere inside your skull, right now, is the ghost of a nervous system that was rebuilding itself faster than it could keep records. You weren't broken. You were under construction. But neurogenesis is only half the story. There's a second piece, and it has nothing to do with brain cells and everything to do with language. Psychologist Carol Peterson, who has spent decades at Memorial University studying how children talk about their own pasts, found something remarkable. A toddler's ability to form a lasting, retrievable memory is closely tied to their ability to put that memory into words. Before a child has language, an experience might register. It might even leave a trace. But without words to organize it, without a beginning, middle, and end to hang it on, the memory has nothing to attach itself to later. It's like a photograph developed with no way to print it. The image exists. You just can't get it out. This is why your first memory almost always comes from right around the time your vocabulary exploded. Not because your brain suddenly turned on, it had been on the whole time, but because language finally gave your brain a filing system sturdy enough to survive. So here's what was actually happening to you as a baby. Your hippocampus was under construction, rebuilding its wiring faster than any memory could take root. And your language system hadn't yet built the shelves needed to store what little did take root in a way you could find again later. Two separate systems, both incomplete, both working against permanence at the exact same time. Does that mean those early years are simply lost? Not entirely. Researchers have found that some infant memories don't disappear so much as go dormant. In animal studies, scientists have been able to reactivate seemingly forgotten early memories using specific triggers, suggesting the trace was never fully erased. It was just buried under everything built on top of it. Your brain didn't delete your first 2 years. It just kept building new floors on top of the foundation, and you lost the staircase back down. There's something almost architectural about it. Every experience after infancy has been layered onto structures that were still wet cement when you lived through your earliest days.